Hi, now in this video we'll discuss about what do you mean by the article. So this article is also one of the important point in grammar, that is you can see lot of examination questions. Generally you get a challenging questions in this topic. Why is that? Because the article generally is, though it is a very simple topic, but the usage is generally most of the students generally face some critical challenges. So that's why what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss this topic in detail here, and let us dive into this topic and let us see each and every point in detail here. Welcome. Now, as per the definition point of view, if you look at this article, the article is basically, we can say, article is the words used before the nouns to show whether the nouns refers to something specific or non-specific. Okay, so that's a very simple understanding. Okay, so what do you mean by specific and non-specific? So specific means basically is the one that you are going to talk about, right? Non-specific means it's not the one, that you are going to talk about. Okay, very simple understanding of the definition. Okay, so what is the definition here? So look at here, let me read the definition again. Articles are the words used before the nouns to show whether the nouns refers to that something specific or non-specific. Okay, so whether you are going to talk about the one that you are going to talk about, or else whether you're not going to talk about the one that you are going to talk about. So this is a very simple definition. So in other words, generally simply just to put in a simple manner, look at here. The articles can be divided into three categories. So they are called as a definite article and an indefinite article. And in this indefinite article also, you can refer this a and an. So basically there are two types of articles: definite article, indefinite article. So indefinite article again has two varieties. So totally three. Okay, totally three categories. Okay, a, and the. Okay, so this a and an and the you can call as articles. So how to identify? So we can say very simple way of keeping this in mind. If you are using definite article, so unless some case, one or two cases, okay, so we can say that I'm going to talk about one and only one. Okay, so that's a very simple way of remembering. Okay, so if I am talking about something, that I am talking about that specific thing. Okay, say for example, we can write like this: the king. So how many kings we have? We have only one king. Okay, so we cannot have several kings. So that's the reason why we can call it as a the king. Okay, so likewise, so whenever you are going to, so don't worry about at this junction, do not worry about how to spell the or the. So that we'll discuss in coming up classes. But right now you understood, try to understand that regarding the grammar points here. So that is the and the. Generally we will speak about how where to pronounce that. Those pronunciation we'll discuss later. And so here, look at here. So definite, the is a definite article. So definite article means if there is only one and only one kind, then we can call it as a definite article. If it is a one among many, okay, we are talking about specific thing from there, but we know that we have so many points. Okay, so then we can call it as a one in many. Okay, so in the previous class I used a one in number. Okay, one in number means there are so many numbers. So in that one, okay, so for example here I can write a student. Okay, there are several students. Okay, I am talking about some specific student. So that specific student I'm going to label. Okay, so that we can call it as a we can call a student. Okay, so this is the way generally we use the articles here. So this is very simple definition or simple understanding of what is meant by article. Okay, now we'll look at this in detail. So as I said, the articles are several kinds. They are the definite article and indefinite article and its rules and regulations. So here, yeah, here itself, did I use so we will discuss point by point here. That is the use of indefinite article. First one is called as a. Okay, so where we use a. Now according to definition, if you look at here, so it is used before the words that begins with the constant sounds. So this is the important point here, whereas an is used whenever it begins with the vowel sound. So this is the important thing that you should remember. Okay, so a is used before any constant sound. It's not about the constant letter. Okay, please do not confuse with the so not necessarily the constant letter. So I have written that point also here. It is do not necessarily a constant letter, so it depends upon the constant sound, whereas an is used in front of a constant vowel sound. Okay, so several students generally do this mistake. So for example, here look at the points here, one by point here. That is a is used before when it begins with a constant sound. So for example, here a boy. So B is a constant sound. A car, B is a constant sound. Okay, but if you look at here, a university, U is basically a vowel, but the U is basically sounds like a U. It sounds like U. Okay, university. So it's not even YOU, it's a U. Okay, so it becomes it sounds with like this. Okay, so as a result, so since it starts with a consonant sound, Y is a consonant. Okay, so that's the reason why we cannot use an in front of the university. An university is wrong. Okay, and 1 rupee. So a 1 is basically starts with a W sound. So that's the reason why that also does not starts with a and 1. Okay, it's a 1. Likewise, the use of an. Okay, so an is also used an is also indefinite article. So this is used in front of any vowel sound. Okay, so for example, look at here, an apple. A is a vowel sound. An hour. So here H is basically silent in hour. So that's the reason why it becomes an hour. And hour is an hour. Okay, so likewise you need to look at the sounding system to use whether you have to use an article where there is a or an we have to use. Okay, so whichever, even though it is an indefinite article, likewise. Okay, so here also, as I said, so in honest, H is a silent, so it becomes an honest man. Okay, H is a silent. Okay, then in MA student, so M is basically starts with the EM. Okay, so E is the vowel sound. So that's the reason why we use. Okay, so this is one point here. Then what are the rules and regulations to use the a or an? That is a indefinite articles. So there are so many rules. Among all these rules, what we have seen is we have filtered out which are important rules and regulations for examination. So that point we are going to discuss here. So look at some points here. So some points here is basically rule number 1. So it would be wiser if I highlight with a box. So that's why use rule number 1. Okay, use singular countable nouns only. First point, use singular countable nouns only. So what do you mean by singular countable nouns? singular countable nouns. Okay, a pen, a book, a pencil. Okay, so likewise a cell phone, a mobile, likewise. Okay, so you have to use that one and only that. Okay, that one for the a, indefinite article a, and where you should not use it. So you cannot use the words where generally if sometimes something is uncountable, so there you cannot use the words. Okay, for example, you can't use I want a milk. It's wrong. I want the milk, because milk is a liquid, so you cannot count that liquid. Okay, but if you want to use a in front of the milk, then what you should use is I want a liter of milk. That is the right way. I want a liter of the milk. Okay, a is basically the quantifying letter, so there you can use a. So you want to apply a to the milk, so then this is generally, some people generally they want to do something that which is against the rules. Okay, so that time for them also there is a provision here. Then the next one, point rule number 2. Okay, so here next rule is based on the sound and not the spelling. You have to use the article a based upon a sound, not on the spellings. Okay, so a university, just this point just now we have seen. Okay, a university, an umbrella. Okay, so likewise, so here u is a vowel, so you can use an. Okay, so otherwise what happens here is university, so y actually the consonant sound, so that's why you will be using a. Okay, then use of a or and when it, so here the same thing, sometimes when you are using it for the first time, then you can use it, but in the second time what you should do is you should use a definite article. That is why you are using a definite article is so you are going to have some conversations. Okay, so for example, you are going to talk about some beautiful girl. So I saw a beautiful girl. The girl is, so when you say I saw a beautiful girl, the girl. Okay, I would like to write here I saw a beautiful girl. Okay, the girl was in her red color dress, something. Okay, red color dress, something. Okay, so something you want. So if you want to use the in front of the girl, so in front of the noun, then you should be able to describe, or you should be able to establish what is that respective person. Okay, so here I saw a beautiful girl. Okay, so before that itself you have given what is this specification of what is the girl that you are going. So you have already established a conversation. So after that sentence itself, then you are using here the girl, means we are talking about that specific girl, right? Which specific girl? The means that beautiful girl. Okay, so hence then you can use the article, definite article. But otherwise what you should do is you have to use the indefinite article itself. So that's what they are saying here. Whenever you are using, use as or an when you are mentioning for the first time. So when you are mentioning it for the first time, then you should use a. But once you have established the relation, or once you have established the conversation, then you can use the as a article. Okay, so definite article can be established later, but when you are initially making a conversation, that time itself you have to use this indefinite article. So that's a point here. Then use of AR to mean anyone. Okay, so if you want to use indefinite article to mean anyone, then you can use, no issues. Okay, a student must work hard, a girl must be honest. So some names. So you can, a boy must work, a boy must do his duty. So like this, there are several sentences you see. So what is mean by a? Meaning is here, when you are specifying some person with a means it can be any person. It can be any person. Then the next point is here, rule is use of a or article or be when you are using expression of a price, frequency, speed, etc. Okay, so here look at here, 50 rupees a kilo, 60 kilometers an hour. Okay, so once a week. Okay, here H is silent, so that's why we are using a indefinite. Okay, likewise, then you have definite articles. Okay, so this definite article, the rules and regulations are here. So whenever the noun is unique, as I said, mentioned this point very frequently here, when this is a very important point, whenever the noun is very unique, then you have to use the definite article. The sun, the moon, the king. Okay, the pope. So the pope will be only one person. Likewise, the king, the queen. Okay, so there will be only one people. Okay, one person. Okay, not so many people. So that time you will be using a definite article. That's an important point you should remember. Then whenever we are using both the speaker and the listener already have established a relation, that time you can use the as an article. So this is a case. Okay, so whenever it is already established, okay, when you know the conversation is already established, that time we can actually say that, okay, this is the guy. Okay, so that is, for example, please close the door. Okay, so in a house, how many doors will be there? There will be only one door. Okay, opening for a, normally it won't be so many doors. Okay, there will be one door for a entry and exit will be the same door. So that's the reason why we are saying please close the door. Means you are talking about the person, both person is, they are inside that room, or else one person is outside the room and then he's near the door, and then one person is inside the door, inside the room. So that time their conversation is between. Okay, means both the listener and the speaker know about what is the conversation they are talking about. Okay, they know what are the details here. Okay, so that's the reason why that is the time you can use the as an article. That's one point. Okay, when the noun is mentioned for the second time, I saw a cat, the cat was hungry. Look at here, I saw a cat. Now first time you have used a, then second time you are using a the. I saw a cat, the cat was hungry. So meaning is here, once you have said what you are talking about, means once you have established what is your point, then you can actually use the as a definite article. So this is the second point. This third rule here. Likewise, we have fourth rule, fifth rule. I think 7 rules are there here. Yeah. The fourth rule is use before superlatives. This is very important. Use before superlatives. So what do you mean by use before superlatives? So in the previous class, in the adjectives we have discussed, that is she is a girl. She is a beautiful girl. Okay, then she is more beautiful than Samantha. Okay, now in the third case, she is the most beautiful girl in the world. Okay, so let us try to understand this one. These three sentences here. She is a beautiful girl. So since I am using it for the first time, okay, in any conversation, and it is also a positive degree, so you are going to express what you are feeling and all those things. So that time what we are doing is we have used a as an article. So this is a very single use. So when you are using it for a very single use, so then you have to use only for the definite article. And so why you are using a definite article is here in this sentence, she is a beautiful girl, means there are so many beautiful girls and she is also a beautiful girl. Okay, there are several beautiful girls available there. Okay, so and then you are actually saying something, you are trying to convey some point or positive sentence or positive degree. So that's the reason why you are using this sentence. Okay, then the second sentence you can see here, she is more beautiful than Samantha. Here in the previous class itself, we have tried to understand this idea about the degrees, right? So when you are trying to understand the degrees here, that time we discussed here the point, that is okay. So here she is more beautiful than. Okay, so here in this adjectives, what we are trying to do is we are trying to enhance some with some extra words, that is more and then, and she is the one person and Samantha is the second person. So we are trying to establish the relation between first person and second person, and then you are comparing this person is better than that person. So that time you are actually using this one. Okay, so that means you want to convey what is your idea about the meaning of this person when you are comparing with this person. So that is generally established here. Okay, now in the third case here, that is she is the most beautiful girl. So whenever you are using a superlative degree of adjective, here comparative degree. Okay, and this is a positive degree. Okay, this one is a positive degree, and whenever you are using a superlative degree, okay, always the article must come. Okay, article the must be used. Article the must be used. Okay, so that's the reason why this is so used before the superlatives. So the best student, the highest mountain. So here you are not using for this respect to noun, you are using for the adjective. Okay, so you are using the article for the adjective. So when the adjective is in superlative degree, that time you are using a the as an article. Okay, please you have to be mindful about it. Okay, so you are not using the mountain, here you are using the highest, the best, okay, the worst, like this. Okay, so likewise we are using this for the in front of the superlatives, mandatory that you must use the article. Okay, that's one point here. Then use before ordinals, numbers, etc. So ordinals and numbers, so in the this is also the adjectives. Okay, so the first day, the second chapter, the first hour, so all those things also comes under the category of the definite articles. Okay, in front of the most of the adjectives. So whenever you are using ordinals and cardinals, so in front of that also you must compulsory use this definite articles. So that's one point. Then the next thing is use with the names of the rivers. Anything like you have only one, okay, like rivers, seas, oceans, deserts, mountain ranges, etc., etc., like holy books, newspapers. So you have only one variety. Means in this universe or on the earth there are only one variety or only one type, then there is no any alternative for it, then we can use this one. Okay, Ganga, Pacific. Okay, the Ganga, the Pacific, then the Sahara, Alps, the Bible, etc. Name like this. Okay, then we can use in front of the itihasas, all the itihasas. Okay, the Mahabharata. You can write like this. Okay, so the epic. Okay, so the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, okay, then the Trojan War. Likewise, all in front of something epics, you can write the as an article. Then use of the countries that include states or republic, okay, and kingdoms, etc. The USA, the UK, the Netherlands, the Philippines. But in front of the India, we cannot use because India is itself is defined as a whole. Okay, so they are not the sum of all the individual lands. Okay, so that's the reason why we recognize India as a unique a one quantity, so one region. So that's why we cannot use the as an article. So we have to use India. So for some countries this definite article the will not come, but here these people generally the USA, so what they have done is they have combined and they claim that this is a name, same names. Okay, so that is one variety. So then use whenever there is a inventions, so musical instruments, then who invented the telephone, so he plays a piano, or he plays the piano, he invented the telephone. So musical instruments, in front of the musical instruments. Okay, so in front of the inventions you can use. So for example here the veena. So veena is the instrument. Okay, the sitar. Okay, then the mobile is already done. Okay, fine. So the mobile. Okay, like this. Then use before a class of some certain set of things. Okay, class of things. Okay, the lion is a wild animal. Means what you are trying to do is you are completely referring all the lions. Okay, so for example the 8th class B section, okay, is a wild students. So means what you are trying to say, so here the 8th class B section, okay, 8th B section is a wild students, means you are referring to each and every student in that respective class. Okay, so that's the reason why you are actually saying this one. Okay, so likewise then don't use any articles in the following. So this is a omission of an article. So next point is omission of an article. So here before going to apply the rules and regulations, so let me highlight those points here. Here this is the point. So 6th rule, then 7th rule, okay, then 8th rule, and this is the 9th rule. So this is there are minimum 9 rules are required for this for examination. So then the omission of articles, so where we have to not to use these articles. So that is also important point here. So where we should not use. Okay, so the first rule is with the uncountable and plural nouns in a general sense. Okay, so the milk is not good, it's not, you cannot use the milk. Okay, so you have to say you are talking about all the time, every time. So that time means in a general sense you are saying. Okay, means normally, okay? So milk is good for health, the milk is not good for health. So whatever the message you want to convey, so this you can say books are useful, okay? The books are useful. So look at here, you are not using any articles here, so means you are not using an article in the sense so the noun that you are referring can be used for general sense, okay? Then the next one is before names of meals. For example, we eat breakfast at 8 o'clock. We eat a breakfast. So we are not going to have only one breakfast. Means we are not going to refer that. So we are going to have one meal itself. Okay. But what is that in respect to meal? Maybe we take one meal or we make 2 times of breakfast. So we are not talking about that. Okay. So we are talking about a specific thing and which we will do daily. So that time we will be using a without we will not be using the articles here. Okay. We eat breakfast. The dinner you cooked was delicious. Okay. The dinner here, actually the dinner means we are talking about the specific dinner we are talking. Okay. Means yesterday that you have done. So that dinner. Okay. Then before names of any languages, subjects, sports, this is in general sense. So here also we cannot use the as any articles here. He speaks English. How many Englishes have? Only one English, no? Then why to refer it only one? Okay, because we know that there is only one. Okay, so he speaks the English. He speaks English. She studies mathematics. Then he plays football. Malaria is dangerous. So like this. Okay. Then before any proper nouns, before any proper nouns, so in front of the proper nouns also you should not use. Okay, so before any proper nouns, there also no need to use. So the Gandhi was a great leader. How many Gandhis you have? You have only one Gandhi. Okay, so that time, so that's the reason why we do not use 2 times. Okay, so she lives in Delhi. Okay, who is she lives in Delhi? You are talking about the person that you are already have a conversation. Okay, so that time also, so we should not use. Okay, so this is one point. Then normally what are the common mistakes so people generally do in exam? So that's these are some list here. Okay, so please have a look at here. There is a so in a sentence, so you can see he is a MLA. So a MLA is where M is a basically vowel. Okay, so hence you have to write he is an MLA. Okay, he is an honest man. Okay, so he is, okay, H is a silent here. Okay, he is MLA. Okay, then she is a European girl. So U is basically consonant sound. So then he plays the guitar. Okay, he is, so M is basically he is a MLA. Okay, so M is a vowel, he is an MLA. Okay, then he plays the guitar. Okay, these are musical. Okay, musical. Then so we study the Ramayana. Ramayana is an epic, so you have to use definitely. So she reads the Hindu. Hindu is the newspaper. So in front of newspaper generally the article the must come. He lives in the USA. So the country with the states, that is basically because of that we will be using it or the as an article. The Ganga is a holy water. The Ganga is a holy water. Okay, so like this. Then whenever a adjective is followed by the noun, that time also you must use articles. So unless it is a superlative, unless it is a comparative. So here she is a clever girl. Okay, so look at here, he bought an expensive car. So here it is a adjective, and before the adjective you are writing a article. But when you are using this comparative degree, that time we look at her, she is a more beautiful. No, it's not. She is more beautiful than Samantha. So in a comparative degree, we don't use any articles. Okay, but in a positive degree and in a superlative degree, we use an article. And the last one here, some situations where here plural common nouns in general, like books are our friends. Okay, so there we will not use this. So we don't use articles. Then uncountable nouns in general, there also we don't use articles. So sugar is sweet. There is no need to say that the sugar is sweet. Okay. Then proper nouns with Raj is my brother. Okay. So we know that Raj, I have only one Raj as my brother. So no need to say that Raj. Okay. If I have two Rajs, and then both our names are two brothers and both brothers name is Raj, then it's a questionable with the situation. But anyway, that time is a different. Okay, so name of the meals. Okay, so we had lunch. Okay, there is no we had the lunch, no need to say we had the lunch. Okay, and names of languages, so there will be only one respective language, so there won't be any confusion. And names of sports, so he plays cricket, so he plays the cricket, so no need to say exactly the cricket, both are same. Okay, so that is the thing related to this articles here. Now coming to the point here, the articles basically is a very important point, grammar point in case of any examination. Most of the competitive exams generally they look at all these points into picture. What I have done is I have used all points in the slides and then made best use of the all the data here that is available for me. So what I want you to do is please go through the video and then look at all the explanation. So once or twice you just have this look at the video 2 times 3 times. Okay, then I'll be providing you the slides PDF and make use of that slides PDF files. Okay, and then you prepare very thoroughly. Okay, don't have any confusion, and then prepare as many times as possible, and then prepare thoroughly and face the respective examination that you are going to go through. Okay, so that way I hope this video is helpful for you. And so to summarize this, so this is the topic related to the article. I hope you understood the grammar English in the grammar point, that is the article. And please do subscribe and share this channel. I will meet again. Until then, thank you.